Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy. Welcome to The Last Lap. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Auto Club race, the final races there, the Cup and Xfinity race. But before we hop into it, just want to remind you guys, hit that like button and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it if you did that. And joining me on the show, once again, it's been too long. Matthew is joining me on the show. He was sick, but I think he feels a lot better now after what happened on Sunday. So I missed you on the show. The preview video for this race was pretty bad, probably without you on the show. So good to have you back, and back and better than ever, I guess. So Matthew has a feel to be back on the show, and you feel so good we had to wait 24 hours to record it. So Matthew, how you feeling, buddy?
Man, I think I slept so good last night after what an amazing day yesterday was. How about that Rowdy Nation? Whew, you have no idea how long I've been waiting to say that. I mean, it's felt like 2 years since the last time he won, especially all of what happened last year. So, man, it feels so good. And this is only the second race of the season. So, whew, man. I hope this is a sign of things to come. And I've been waiting all day long to do this video. I know the man across the camera here, he's been dreading this video all day long. So you gotta bear with me all day.
Oh, I mean, I'm not dreading the fact that Kyle Busch won. Like, I'm very happy he won. I just want you to get all of this "I told you so" stuff out of the way. I just want you to get that out of the way. So hopefully, by the time this episode's over, he can get it all out. We can move on and not have to worry about this anymore. So I'm glad he got the win out of the way. But we'll address that in just a minute. Um, so really quick, I just want to touch on the Xfinity race. John Hunter Nemechek ended up winning that, and I believe his dad won the first pole at Auto Club in the Xfinity series, and then he won the final race. So that was pretty cool how that just like coincidentally happened like that. Sheldon Creed had a crazy save. Josh Berry accidentally hit him and turned him sideways, and it looked like Sheldon Creed was going to smash the inside wall nose first, but he somehow turned that car around and just barely scraped it with the back bumper. A lot of people were saying that reminded them of Bobby Labonte's save at Daytona in 2010, I think it was, in the 71 car. So, yeah, that was a crazy save. I thought he was just going to destroy that race car, but thankfully he was able to save it. He was actually in contention to win it until a caution came out and he didn't have any tires left. So crazy for Sheldon Creed to come back. Cole Custer looked like he had the best car, just like last year when he won the race. He won the first two stages, but unfortunately he blew a tire, and it didn't end his day, but it ruined his chances of running for the win. But let's go ahead and talk about the main event, the Cup Series race. So practice and qualifying was rained out, or should I say snowed out, because it was literally snowing on Saturday in California. But yeah, practice qualifying, Dunzo. The lineup was based on the metric system with points and finish and fastest lap and all that stuff. So Christopher Bell, Ricky Stenhouse, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, they all started towards the front. Drivers like Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, guys that didn't have a good finish last week, started towards the rear. And very early in the race, one of the favorites came down pit road with a engine slash mechanical slash electrical issue, and it was Kyle Larson. A lot of people probably had him in his fantasy lineup like we did, and he came down pit road very early in this race. They put the hood up, took it behind the wall. He eventually came back out on the track, but he was several laps down at that point. So very disappointing start to the race and to the season for Kyle Larson, who is one of the favorites today. Corey LaJoie, he had his fair share of incidents today. He got into Brad Keselowski off of turn 2, got into AJ Allmendinger off of turn 2. He got spun by Tyler Reddick off of turn 4. So Corey LaJoie had himself a day, and I think he still finished inside the top 15. So props to Corey LaJoie for still, through all of those incidents, he was able to come back and get a good finish. Kyle Busch and Daniel Suarez, they both had speeding penalties early in this race that they would have to rally from. Daniel Suarez was a lot later in the race. Kyle Busch was I believe it was like the first or second caution. He had the speeding penalty, so he had a lot of time to recover. Um, there was a big wreck on one of the restarts. It looked like so Joey Logano was the control car, and on the TV at first it looked like he kind of checked up and that kind of stacked everybody up. But I think what happened is that NASCAR made the restart zone a lot longer, so he waited until the very end of the restart zone to go, and I think people were just kind of trying to guess when he was going to go and when early, and it just kind of stacked the whole field up. And it looked like Ryan Blaney got into Christopher Bell, and that's what started the whole wreck. Several cars involved. Eric Almirola, he had a lot of damage. I know Ty Gibbs had some damage. Several other drivers. The video will probably be in this video. But yeah, very big crash on the restart. I think it was the biggest crash in Auto Club history, which is kind of funny that it was on a restart and it was for, I don't know, 10 cars or so. But Ross Chastain looked like he had one of, if not the best cars in the race. He won both stages. There was a great battle with Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Busch for the lead. The three most aggressive drivers, I would say, in the Cup Series were all duking it out for the lead late in the race on one of those restarts. Stage 3 would go green. I don't even think there was a caution in Stage 3. There might have been one caution in Stage 3. But there were green flag stops with 35 laps to go. That's when they pretty much started. And Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch was close to Ross Chastain. He just couldn't pass him. And then right before green flag stops, he finally got in front of him. And then they were pretty much dead even on pit road. Kyle Busch was able to gain a little bit of time on Chastain off of pit road. And Kyle Busch just checked out from that point. He just drove away from Ross Chastain. Chase Elliott actually passed Ross Chastain for second late in the race, so that was good. As a Chase Elliott fan, I'm very happy with a second place finish after where he started today, so very happy with that. But yeah, Kyle Busch would go on to get the win in his second start with RCR, his second points paying start, I guess, when you throw the Clash in there. But let me quickly go over the results and then I'll kind of say what I have to say about the race. So, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez, 4 Chevys at the top of the list. Good comeback for Suarez as well after that pit road penalty. Great to see the Trackhouse cars continue to have speed from last year progress over to this season. Kevin Harvick 5th, Denny Hamlin 6th, Brad Keselowski 7th, great run for him. Bowman and Dillon, some Chevys in 8th and 9th, and Joey Logano is 10th. And Corey LaJoy did finish 14th. I just wanted to make sure and check that after all his drama that happened today. So good finish for him. So post-race thoughts. Most of this is all about Kyle Busch. So like I said, gets his first win with RCR, his third technical race with them this season. He is now the record holder for most wins in a row per season, if that makes any kind of sense. But 19 straight seasons, he has a win. So he broke the record for that. And, so I'm going to say something that I heard Steve Letarte say on his Dirty Mo Doe podcast earlier this week. He said that Kyle Busch knows this. He might not say it, but he knows that Tyler Reddick won 3 races in that number 8 car last year. And, he knows that. I'm sure he wants to beat that number. Like, he wants to win 4, 5, 6 races, knowing that 8 car won 3 last year. So I think that, look at Kyle Busch's season so far. He finished 3rd in the Clash, was running well in his dual race at Daytona, was running well in the Daytona 500, had a great car today. He could be 4 for 4 right now. He could go to Wendy's and get him a 4 for 4. I mean, he's off to a great start this season. So I think he's only going to get better, I think, throughout the season. So, I might have to hop on Matthew's prediction and say Kyle Busch is going to win 4 or 5 races because he just had incredible speed so far. And yeah, I really think Kyle Busch is going to be a threat to win a lot of races this season. It's so hard to pick a championship favorite because it comes down to one race, but I think Kyle Busch could easily be a championship 4 contender right now. So yeah, Matthew, you're getting a lot of props for Kyle Busch for me today. But yeah, I think everybody's gonna be like, oh, JGR made a mistake, this, that, the other thing, and yeah, JGR, they did make a mistake, but I mean, I this might be a hot take, but I think Kyle Busch coming over to RCR right now, might have been an upgrade from Joe Gibbs Racing last year or the past few years for him because, like, just looking at what that 8 car did last year, Toyota in general kind of they didn't struggle last year, but Kyle Busch struggled in the number 18 car last year. So I think going over to RCR, a fresh start, especially with what that team did last year, I think that's a boost of momentum for him. I think that's going to carry throughout the season. So look out for Kyle Busch the rest of this season. I think I said in my predictions that he was going to win at least one race. I don't remember if I said he was going to win more than one or not, but he got that one out of the way. So yeah, very excited to see what he does the rest of this season. So Matthew, go ahead and tell everybody your thoughts about this race, and you can go ahead and get all the I told you so's and Joe Gibbs Racing made a mistake and all that stuff. You can go ahead and get that out of the way. So go ahead and tell everybody how you're feeling.
All right, so it has been an amazing 24 hours for me, as you can tell. And I mean, I'm just trying to soak it all in. I mean, this is literally the second race with him and Richard Childress Racing, and they won. I mean, it wasn't like Bristol last year when he got lucky. Basically, he was basically one of the best cars all day long and capitalized on the most crucial part of the race, which was that last green flag pit stop. So, I mean, it just feels amazing to finally, win a race in such a, you know, in such a great way compared to the last couple of years where a lot of it had to do with luck and strategy. But it just feels so good to win it that way. And let me just touch on this: 19 wins. I mean, not 19 wins. I mean, 19 seasons with at least one win, which breaks Richard Petty's record. I mean, that is unbelievable. You mean you have had to have every single season with a win, and he's done that. I mean, we've seen great drivers who can't do that because they had a season with zero wins, like the great like Kevin Harvick, like Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, even Jeff Gordon. I mean, had a season with no wins. So for him to do that in 19 straight years is just absolutely amazing. And I can see him continuing to even make this record go further on the way he's been driving. So I mean that's amazing right there. And I mean I don't want to get too ahead of myself here with him winning the second race of the season. I mean it is still the beginning of the season. We don't know how this season's going to go. I mean, he's looking good so far. The way he's run all the races so far, it's been promising. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself because it seems like every time I put up higher expectations, it starts to get a little crazy. So, as for the race itself, it was a very great race. If it, comparing it to last year, I don't think it was as good as it was last year, but it was still a very good race. So I mean, it was a great way to basically send Auto Club its farewell there. And I mean, I'm happy that Kyle Busch was able to win Auto Club for the final time, which that was the site of Kyle Busch's first ever Cup win, back in all the way back in 2005, driving the Chevrolet at that time as well. And then in 2019 at Auto Club, when he got his 200th win of all three series during the Cup race. And now he's won for the final time at Auto Club and his first time in the RCR car. So, I mean, that's kind of a storybook ending to what has been an amazing track over the years. I mean, I love Auto Club. I'm gonna miss it, but I'm not gonna be like one of these people. I'm gonna be nice today. I'm not gonna be like one of those people that start crying about it going away. I'm actually gonna be, positive here. I'm looking forward to see how this new short track's gonna look like in the future. I think of how with the new state of the art stadium, and everyone loves short track racing. So, I mean, I'm going to keep my hopes up, and I'm looking forward to see what the future holds for that amazing track. But we're here to celebrate the amazing years that was Auto Club Speedway. So don't miss it, and I'm looking forward to racing more on iRacing a lot more now. But yeah, I thought it was a very great race. I'm happy he was able to win the second race of the season. And man, who knows how much more momentum is going to carry on for the first half of the season here.
Wow, no real shots at Joe Gibbs Racing. That's
I'm
a
going to be nice
surprise.
today.
Matt, he's in a good mood. The race and the results speak for itself, I guess. But yeah, I quickly want to share my thoughts about Auto Club. I wish there was some type of way to repave racetracks that wouldn't make the racing suck. Like because this track has just produced like the greatest racing. It's kind of the same thing with Atlanta. Atlanta produced really good racing the last several years. It was the track it was before it got reconfigured and everything. So I just wish there was some kind of way to like repave the racetrack without it making it terrible for 10 years for it to like break in and wear out and stuff like that because Auto Club the racing on Sunday was it was great. It was good racing. You could go top, bottom, middle. The restarts were crazy. 3, 4, 5 wide on the restarts. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be like you. I'm gonna try to be optimistic about the short track. That it's not. 2025 might not even. It might even be ready by then. So, hopefully it gets ready by 2025, and we can see what that holds. And the question still remains: what's going to replace Auto Club on the schedule next year, or maybe even the year after that? However long it takes for them to build that track. So, very interesting to see what comes of the schedule and Auto Club and all of that for the future. But yeah, I mean, I think we just have to go over our fan. It's been a while since we've done a race review together. So, oh yeah, rating the race. So let's do that. Man, I don't know this. Mm, I think I'm gonna give this race. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I'm feeling pretty generous for this race. It's the final race at Auto Club. You know, Ross Chastain looked like he had a good car early in the race. Kyle Busch had to fight his way through the field, and people could pass. I, I can't complain. So 8 out of 10 for me. Matthew, what are you gonna rate the final race at Auto Club?
I'll I'll actually give it a 9 out of 10 for me because I thought this race was, like I said, just as great as it was last year. I mean, I guess the only thing I could say that was better than last year was I feel like it was less of a wreck fest compared to last year. I felt like it was a lot more, long runs, a lot more strategy, pit stops that decided the race, which that's the reason why Kyle did win the race was because of his amazing pit crew to get him out the back on the track first. So I thought this was a great race overall. I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, it's so tough for me to rate these races because you have to balance like the racing aspect and the excitement aspect. Like the racing today was probably like a 9 out of 10, but the excitement was probably I don't know more like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. So it's really tough to kind of balance that, and I can't really give it a 9 or a 10 in my opinion because I feel like it's only the second race of the season, and there could be a crazy race with a finish like Bristol Dirt where the leaders wreck on the final lap and somebody steals a win, or something like that could happen at the end that can make it way more exciting. But yeah. And we did start our fantasy league again this year. We have 10 people in our league now, and I am off to probably the worst start ever. I am currently 7th total out of 10 people. You're leading. You got 210 points that race. I got 137, so you already have like a 106-point lead on me. So yeah, this fans.
That is despite of Kyle Larson having a crappy engine and Christopher Bell just being a victim of that wherever the heck that was on that restart.
Oh yeah, my lineup was like I had so many good people in my lineup. I had Christopher Bell, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, thankfully. Tyler Reddick, he got in the wreck. So Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Larson, 3 out of 6 of my drivers had some type of issue today. So just poor luck for me on my part. But yeah, so far you're looking pretty good in our fantasy league. A long way to go, but 100 points, that's a lot of ground to make up. So hopefully we can make it a little bit more interesting throughout the season. So Matthew, do you have any other final thoughts before we go ahead and finish this video out?
Hang on, I know the real reason why Kyle Busch won this weekend. It was because he was repping basically a Kyle Larson scheme this past weekend. Maybe that's why he won. He had to rep the Kyle Larson colors for the Kyle Larson throwback to last year.
Yeah, maybe Kyle needs to run that Lucas Oil car more often, and maybe some of his other paint schemes need to look like some of Kyle Larson's other paint schemes. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I did love that car, by the way. The Lucas Oil car looked so good on track, and that'll look really good on your shelf whenever they make the race version for that car. So very excited for you that your guy was able to win in just his second points start with his new team. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Slowly trying to get back into the rhythm of this whole race review, race preview kind of thing. So stick with us. It'll take us a few weeks, but we'll get right back up to speed in no time. Make sure you guys check out our social media pages. They'll be linked in the description down below. But until the next time, we'll see you guys in our next video.